Once upon a time, in a quiet green meadow nestled beside a shining sun-dappled forest, there lived a wild gray cat named Shadow. Shadow was very strong and very fast, and he lived all by himself. The other animals in the meadow and the forest were a little bit afraid of him. They saw his sharp claws and quick movements, and thought he must be fierce and unfriendly. So they always kept their distance, leaving Shadow feeling quite alone. Not too far away, hidden cleverly under a big, beautiful rose bush, stood a tiny golden castle. It was so small you might miss it if you weren't looking carefully. Inside this magical castle lived the Princess Mouse, whose name was Luna. Princess Luna was as kind and gentle as a summer breeze. She had a heart full of love and spent her days helping anyone who needed it. Every single night, as the moon began to rise, she would sing the softest, sweetest lullabies. Her voice was so magical that it made the stars in the night sky seem to sparkle and dance even brighter. One beautiful evening, as the sun was setting and painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Princess Luna was out in the meadow, carefully collecting juicy berries for her supper. She hummed a happy tune as she dropped the sweet fruit into her little woven basket. But suddenly, the sky turned dark gray. A loud clap of thunder roared through the meadow, and big, heavy raindrops began to fall. The wind howled, and the rain poured down in sheets. Poor little Luna, startled by the sudden storm, slipped on a wet leaf and tumbled right into a big, muddy puddle. She was cold, wet, and a little bit scared. Just then, a figure emerged from the misty rain. It was Shadow, the wild cat. His gray fur was slick with rain, and his green eyes seemed to glow in the dim light. Princess Luna trembled, her tiny heart beating fast. She had heard the stories about the fierce wild cat, but to her surprise, Shadow didn't pounce or hiss. Instead, he leaned down, and his voice was surprisingly gentle. "Don't be afraid, little one," he said softly. "You look hurt. Let me help you." Luna was still a little nervous, but there was a kindness in his eyes she hadn't expected. Very, very carefully, Shadow used his nose to nudge a large, dry leaf towards her. He motioned for her to climb on. Once she was safely aboard the leafy boat, he gently lifted it with his mouth and carried the tiny mouse out of the rain and into a dry, cozy cave nearby. He shook the water from his fur and then disappeared for a moment, returning with a plump, warm berry he had kept safe from the storm. He set it down in front of her. Luna nibbled the warm berry, feeling much better. She looked up at the big cat who was watching over her. A small smile appeared on her face. "Thank you, Shadow," she squeaked. "Everyone says you're scary, but you're not scary at all. You're kind." No one had ever said that to Shadow before. He had always been seen as wild and fierce, but never kind. Hearing those words made his heart feel warm and full, like he'd just had a big bowl of warm milk. A slow smile spread across his own face. From that day forward, everything changed. Shadow and Luna became the very best of friends. Shadow appointed himself as Luna's royal protector. He guarded the entire meadow, making sure it was safe for everyone. If any danger approached, like a sneaky fox or a grumpy badger, Shadow would bravely scare them away. He started helping the other small animals too, using his strength to move fallen branches or find lost little bunnies. The forest animals watched in amazement. They soon learned a very important lesson, that true strength isn't about being fierce or making others afraid. True strength comes from having a kind and helpful heart. And so, every night, as the moon and stars filled the sky, Princess Luna would sit by her castle window and sing her beautiful lullabies. And just a short distance away, sitting peacefully under the twinkling stars, Shadow would lie down, close his eyes, and listen. Her sweet songs filled the meadow, bringing peace to all the animals. And the wild cat wasn't really wild anymore. In the eyes of all who knew him, he was a true hero. The end.